Happy Saturday and welcome. Welcome to Natural Ally D. I am Danny and I'm an aromatherapist and a social worker, and I enjoy sharing things to enhance our overall quality of life and well-being. So in today's video, I want to elaborate or talk more about children and self-care. My most recent video I shared with you, I had on Lady Caroline and her son, Lamar Phillips, where they were talking about what they do for the community, our community. Lady Caroline is a fellow social worker, and her son is the founder and CEO of International Enlightenment Foundation, where he uses the arts to uplift children and help them have a better quality of life starting at a very young age using the arts. And so how appropriate this, most recently I was sent a text about self-care in children. And I said that's definitely needed, and it made me think about the video I just did with Lady Caroline and Lamar Phillips, and I'll leave a link into the description if you're interested in supporting the International Enlightenment Foundation, where the proceeds go towards helping our children in the arts to be the best selves that they can be. They do many things outside of the arts to help with self-esteem and self-confidence, and just a wonderful organization that really gives back to the children in our community. Okay, and I wanted to elaborate or bring that into today's video and talk about self-care in children. As I mentioned, I received some information most recently. Actually, it was a text. Someone said to me about self-care in children. I said, yes, most definitely. I did a video with a wonderful YouTuber by the name of Colette Elizabeth, where we were talking about self-care and the use of essential oils, as I am an aromatherapist, right? And she has a series on self-care and Black women. If you haven't checked it out, it's absolutely wonderful. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. So I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. I'll leave a link to the most recent video also in the description if you want to donate to the International Enlightenment Foundation for kids. So going back to self-care for children, the information I received, I want to share it with you. So wonderful and so apropos, and I think sometimes we might forget about self-care in children. We'll talk about self-care in ourselves as adults, but children need just as much care and self-care regimen or routine as, us adults. Okay, I'm definitely a proponent of leisure and self-care for us women, particularly us Black women and women in general, because we do so much, okay? And, children need that sort of self-care and routine as well. And so I want to share with you what was shared with me. Let's see. Actually go to the original information so you can see what was shared with me. So I received this self-care and mental health for kids. And it gave ideas about how children can have self-care for themselves, okay? Or for you to share with them as adult or a caregiver, okay, a parent or guardian. Like, for example, it says, share your own feelings to encourage self-awareness. Set aside time for low stress or solo activities. Find social groups that help them feel like they belong. Okay? Focus on articulating feelings such as, I am angry, I am sad. Okay. Encourage journaling and diaries. I'm definitely a big proponent of that. I have a link to some journals if you're interested for yourself, and also can be used for kids. Encourage your child to focus on the moment. Practice self-care for yourself to set the standard. So this is for the caregiver, for you to self-care for yourself so that the kids understand that that is important also. Recognize toxic stress events. Oh my goodness. One of my most recent videos, I was talking about toxicity in the workplace. So I do understand that kids have toxic stress events, and they need to understand and recognize those things in their lives as well. Another one says, cultivate interests and hobbies. Then it goes down to a to-do list, and it says, protect your boundaries, be kind to yourself, meet your needs, practice self-care, let go of what you can't control, focus on mental health. And I feel like this list, to-do list, is for adults and children, and this information can be found at Instagram at Blessing Manifesting. So I wanted to see who this person, was, or what other sort of resources that they had. So I looked them up. Let's see. When you go to at Blessing Manifesting, it sends you to Self-Love Rainbow. So I went there, and I just love the colorful Instagram page where it gives beautiful ideas for children and adults alike. But I just loved how they've laid it out and made it colorful and fun. It's something you can share with the kids or children in your life, readily, easily. And you may decide to use some of these ideas, or just share them with the kids if you work with kids, if you don't have kids yourself, in any capacity, in professional capacity that you may work with children. So I wanted to share this with you because I thought this was just so appropriate. And I'm definitely proponent of self-care and leisure, and stop sharing now. I'm definitely a proponent of self-care and leisure. One of my other favorite YouTubers, Stephanie Perry, some of you may already know about her. She talks about living a life of leisure, and doing it in a way that could be fun. Like, for example, she talks about house sitting, something that she does as living a life of leisure. And she has other guests and other colleagues who talk about the same, and living abroad, if that's something that you're interested in. But the basic premise is that Black women don't have to be all, end all, and work yourself to the bone in order to enjoy life, but also talks about living a life of leisure and enjoying yourself. And part of that to me is definitely self-care and taking care of yourself, and extending that to children if you have children, or sharing that with children in your life. They also need to learn about what it looks like to have self-care and growing up, and not something perhaps that they only learn about when they become an adult. I don't know about any of you, but this was not an ideology or a topic of conversation when I was growing up, about self-care and what you do, and taking time for yourself, and focusing on your mental health and emotional health. Those are things that evolved for me as I got older, and my professional career, and all the extra curricular things that I enjoy doing and learning and sharing, of course, with you or anyone else in my community. But I just think it's so appropriate and important that we extend that self-care to children. And as a social worker, I work with both, have an opportunity to speak with individuals and families who have children, so that if you're a professional that works with children or families who may have children, then it's important, I think, to extend that information for them as well, or bring light to it. Okay, perhaps they might not even think about that. Yes, their kids may need self-care in a way, the same way that they do. Okay. And so I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was so appropriate, given the last video I did, where paying it forward for children and helping them to grow and be the best that they can be. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't give a tip about some aromatherapy to help kids along along this season that we're in. So I did a video recently about stress, and if you're in the fall, we're in the fall season, you might be going back to school, be going back to the routine of school. I talked about orange essential oil, using that, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description if that would be helpful for you. And also, one other tip I want to share with you is the use of lemon essential oil. I have had a video where I talk about lemon essential oil, but I want to give this one extra tip, and I'll leave that link in the description as well. But one extra tip is to use lemon essential oil on a cotton ball, 1 to 2 drops on a cotton ball, and place it near the student as they're studying. Okay? You say, well, how would that be helpful? Well, according to the resource I have, and one of my trusty resources I use while studying in school, and I'll leave a link to this resource in the description. It says, with the use of lemon essential oil, it says use on a cotton ball and place it near the student when studying to improve test scores. So that is a recommendation or a suggestion that this Foundation Aromatherapy suggests that you can use, or suggest to use, lemon essential oils for that purpose. So I thought that was a wonderful tip. We're in October, we're going towards, if kids haven't already had midterms or going into midterms, it could be used for the rest of the semester, and the school year. So hopefully that is helpful for you. If you have any information you'd like to know about different essential oils, please feel free to leave that in the comments. If you want to share your experience with using lemon essential oil, and or what I talked about, self-care for children, you can leave that in the comments as well. I truly appreciate it. And as always, it's my pleasure to serve you, and I thank you for watching. And I bless that we learn, grow, share together naturally. Until next time, bye-bye now. God bless you. I love you.